Great day. Carlos here, Amish Matchmakers. My wife and I, Chantel, we help Amish singles find godly spouses, create epic marriages, and develop a legacy that is rooted and founded in faith, freedom, and above all else, love. Welcome back, and thanks for joining me again this morning. Cheers. Grabbing the coffee, heading to the studio. What are you up to this morning? You just hanging out, chilling? Or are you actually out there doing something? I need to do exercise. What I need to be doing. Uh, right. Well, glad you're here. Thanks for joining me. We're having our talk about what does love look like and what is love to you. I'm always curious what people see. How people see love? How would you define love? What does love look like to you? It's a very curious question. And I am interested in what you think love looks like. We've been talking about being a safe place, and yesterday spoke about King David versus King Saul, the leadership difference. So, good morning. Good morning. It is a great day. It's a great day. Yeah. My friend, my brother, you're amazing. Appreciate you. Mr. Ken. So, as I was processing through yesterday about identity, we all have an identity. It's an idea of who we are. Really, that's what identity is. The story or the idea. It's funny, things hit pop in my mind about different ways we look at things matters. And so when I think of identity, it is the idea of who we are. You can write that down. It's crazy, but it's real. Who do you think you are is really, it's funny. That just made me think of another thing, how parents say that. Who do you think you are? Yeah. And it's interesting, like how important it is to not just think we are, but know who we are and believe and receive, and you will achieve. So let me grab my notes. Oh my goodness, sorry. It is very true. Our identity is our idea. The idea. When you have an idea, you have an identity. It does shape you, make you, how you speak, how you think of things, how you see things, how you judge things, really. What's your identity? What's your idea of yourself? How do you see yourself? And then how do you fulfill that? How you see yourself, how do you fulfill it? What does it look like? What's the how? It's interesting. MVP as mission is what we're here for, right? And the why. Why are you here? What is, and then the vision is, what does it look like, or how, uh, the details of the how, the details of what that looks like, that vision of who you are. And it really does matter how we see ourselves. And also it matters who you pattern yourself after, who you look up to, because then it will influence or impact how how you do things, for sure. It's important that we believe what we believe is a good leader, and what we believe is a great leader, what we believe is the best way to communicate, best way to connect with people, best way to gain new ways of leadership. That's very fascinating, because those who influence you are those who you allow to influence you, that you look up to and aspire to be like in leadership and in business. And some of my great examples: Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Nelson Mandela, Joe Montana, Yeshua. Yeshua being amongst the greatest. What an example. What a life he lived of love and willingness to give. So, what is your MVP? What does your identity look like? Who are you? Because that matters. How you see yourself matters. Um, we finished up yesterday talking about King David and Saul, and looking at their leadership differences, what it looks like to be secure in identity. But often I talk about identity. Good morning, Mr. Yoder. Richard. We talk about identity and how important that is to be secure in it. Patient, respectful, emotionally steady, God centered. Even when Saul hunted him, David refused to harm Saul. And there's something very powerful about knowing who you are as a man, knowing who you are, and not having to control the situation, but to allow the things to release control of the outcome, is to truly set things in motion, set things in place, but then trust the process. And it's interesting because David did a fantastic job of this, really seeking and knowing Father, and asking, um, and seeking and knocking and looking for answers instead of just doing. I will not stretch out my hand against the Lord's anointed. That was 1 Samuel 24:6. David led from reverence, restraint, trusting God's timing. And that's the big thing too, is trusting God's timing. Even though we can take massive action, there's no doubt. I am all about action. I am the action guy. But there is harshness that can come with high action, high energy. The the reputation that comes with that is that you run over people and you're harsh and you don't care. And so when you pause and you breathe and you stop and smell the flowers, stop and have conversations with people, stop and really get to know people and care about them and genuinely be interested in their lives, connection, true connection, love, and affection will absolutely bring greater leadership, will absolutely bring a love and a connection to the people, versus they're just a number. They just help me get where I want to go. That's not leadership. That's more of dictatorship that will come out. Harshness wounds trust. When you have sharp tone, shut people down, intimidate, have passive aggressiveness, when you're impatient, when you're correcting without compassion, when you're controlling in decisions, or you withdraw emotionally, criticism instead of guidance. Now, why is it men end up that way? Usually because they have a fear of failure, pressure, exhaustion, unresolved pain, insecurity, feeling disrespected, loss of control. Harshness is often pain coming out sideways. Can you relate to that? Is that anything you've ever seen or done? And I wanted to reiterate this because, again, as we go into leadership and identity, I want you to see the difference. There was King Saul, who definitely led with defensiveness. He was very jealous. There was a lot of judgment, even, and beliefs that he had about David. And then we had David, who paused instead of reacting. He honored people even when hurt. He was hurt and he still honored. He owned his heart. He repented quickly when something would happen. He would own what he did. He trusted the father, Papa, to defend him in all situations. And he spoke life. David would always encourage others. Words shape environment. So it is powerful when we can have self-discipline, master our emotions as men, lower your tone and voice, slow your words, listen fully, respond calmly, and clarify with questions instead of accusing. A strong man can either be intimidating or he can create safety. You can either be the crusher or the protector. You get to decide. Children learn leadership from the tone. Harsh homes produce fear and not respect. Harsh the tone with harshness, it produces fear, not respect. Over time, it plays out. That's why our tone and our emotions and how we gather ourselves or how we just let ourselves go really matters. A harsh man will actually repel. A steady man attracts. When a woman feels emotionally safe, then she can grow. She can allow herself to feel things that she wouldn't normally feel and allow herself to either fall in love with you or even allow herself to grow if you're already married and become more confident as a woman and as a leader. She'll level up in ways that you never thought she would if you will protect and be steady and not harsh and judgmental. Create that safe place for growth. People will grow and people will become better around you. And they come and they grow and learn from your example more than anything, especially those willing followers. Willing followers it does start with your wife. Congratulations if you got married. If you're not married yet and you're single, it's what we're here for too. Try to help you find a beautiful bride. Man, this is men. It's love talk and men's edition. So I'm talking to you this morning. What are you doing to improve your life and improve your identity that would attract a very powerful, amazing woman? Do people relax around you? Are you kind? Do you listen? Do you lead by example? Are you driven by love and trust? What drives you? Gentleness with authority becomes influence. I'm going to write that down again because that's really good. Gentleness. Gentleness with authority becomes influence. Really, as a single man, if you're single and trying to find a wife, it's time to connect with people, time to have deeper, more meaningful relationships in a gentle but authoritative, confident way. That's what will allow you to become influential, that will allow you to connect with a woman, that will cause you to get engaged. It's a powerful thing and it works. You know, Yeshua, when he talked about his leadership and his connection skills, he says, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. So are you creating easy? Are you creating a benefit by connecting with you? Is connection to Carlos a benefit? I don't know. I'm asking you. You're here connecting with me, supporting me, by the way. Hello. Thank you for stopping by and saying hello. Thank you for noticing my beard. Connection. Is connection bringing benefits or is it a burden? We speak with steadiness that builds trust. Now, as we go into the MVP, I want you to pause and think about how you see yourself. This is really important. How do you see yourself? If you're here with me and you want to grow, you want to learn, and you want to have epic life, I want you to pause right now and tell me the story, the identity that you have, the idea of who Carlos is. What is that idea? What is it? What are you known for? What is your reputation? Because how you see yourself, the idea of what you see about yourself really matters. That's what you are becoming. And this person says, okay, we've been creators. That's how they see themselves, as creators. Okay, good. Fair enough. Thanks for participating with me. I'm serious. I appreciate that. So I'll show your comment there. All right. So that's how you see yourself, and that's who you're becoming, a creator. Great. What is that talk in your head? Because the idea of how I see myself, the identity, is around the story, it's around the idea. That's this idea I have in my head about um my history, the idea of what I went through. This idea is my identity. This idea of how what experiences I had as a child is my identity. Really, it is. The idea of, okay, I suffered greatly as a child, or I was poor and I was weak and I was feeble. I was abused. Do you see how the I story, the idea of who I am and how I express what I went through matters in your childhood, because what happens is it is who you're becoming when you speak of this thing. And we can see it in creation code. The one of the first, it's interesting that idea, the universal symbol for idea is a light bulb. Bing! And you have a light turn on, you're like, oh, I have this idea. Well, it's interesting because bing, when you have a light bulb, this is why I am the way I am. This happened in my life, right? And you justify why you are where you are. And it is part of the process. So it's very interesting how when we dig in, we've got this process called Triggers to Triumph, where you learn and understand forgiveness, you learn and understand things that you went through in your formative years that have created this idea about you, that have created this story and created this understanding of where you're going and who you're becoming. And that is literally then what you are becoming and what influences, impacts your life every day. It's a very interesting process. So it's important that the way we see ourselves is very important. And it's very important how I speak about myself. You may be known for harsh. You may be known for being controlling. You may be known for your attitude and sharpness and tonality. You may not be known as a safe place, but it's not too late to change it. It's not too late to do something different. You have the opportunity to walk it out. And the walking it out is going to come from being have an idea and reflection on who you are. So, MVP, mission, where are you going? What do you want in your life? And why are you here? Like, that's mission. And the vision is describing the how, describing the emotions of that identity, the visualization of that identity. What do I look like? What do I feel like? What do I sound like? And where am I going is really important to know where you're going that direction. And so, as I've processed through even my personal identity, this last epic intensive, which by the way, we have one coming up. It's crazy. Today is Wednesday. Is today Wednesday? Yeah. So, a week from tomorrow, we have people showing up here at our ranch to come and celebrate life with us, an epic life, and work towards that beautiful, powerful identity. I'm very blessed to say that Richard and Lavina Yoder will be facilitating that event with us, and super pumped for them as they are growing and learning and becoming greater leaders and more influenced, greater influencers. Because why? Because they have gentle authority. They do hard things, and they are okay and work well, even in pressure. That matters. We got you. You got it. We all got what it takes if we're willing to do hard things. So now, as we're processing through identity, I am a catalyst for metamorphosis. Okay, I've talked about that for years and years and years. It's catalyst for metamorphosis. That's who I am. Writing it down. It's awesome to look at. It's funny. I don't even know if I know how to spell that. Catalyst for metamorphosis. I bring change and transformation. I embrace transformation. I'm a master catalyst. And what God is really working on me now is the how and refining the how, where it can be done through steadiness builds trust. So I speak steady and calmly. I am a calm exhorter, edifier, self-control, edification. So when you're creating your identity, I tell people all the time, write it down, put it in front of you. That's why I'm writing it down again, going through the same process I tell others to do. I do it myself as well, and understanding who I'm becoming. We're learning to lead in a way that brings peace, clarity, and safety. Peace, clarity, safety. And we have questions for this too that hold us accountable. It's funny, I need to revisit those. Am I a safe place? How am I improving? What needs to improve in me? How can I serve you better? What we're moving beyond. Sometimes men lead with fear and urgency. I am becoming a man whose presence brings peace. I lead with emotional strength. I take responsibility and keep moving forward. I lead with humility, strength, and wisdom. My words build my presence, steadies, and my heart stays soft before the Father. What kind of leader are you becoming? What atmosphere do we create when we walk into a room? How can we bring more calm this week? Where can we lead with gentleness and clarity? What would David like leadership look like today? Leadership isn't about avoiding mistakes, it's about moving towards maturity. We are men who lead with strength and tenderness, conviction and kindness. We grow, we learn, and we move forward together. I'm going to say it again. This is our mantra, man. We are men who lead with strength and tenderness, conviction and kindness. We grow, we learn, and we move forward together. What's your identity? How are you moving towards your mission? How are you getting results in your life? Thank you, Phyllis, for spelling it out for me. And I did well. Yeah, I spelled it right. So, how are you moving towards that identity? Because the idea of that identity and what that looks like matters. So, my wife, Chantel, challenged me yesterday with something that I've said for quite a few years about catalyst for metamorphosis, that I bring change and transformation. And I used to say, I do whatever it takes to disrupt, to bring change and transformation. Now I can say I'm a catalyst for metamorphosis. I lead with strength, tenderness, conviction, and kindness. We grow, we learn, and we move forward together. That's unity. That's inclusion. That's love. That's pulling instead of pushing. I will push you. That's what I used to say. And now I want to say, I will pull you and lead by example. I will be in the trenches with you, united together, facing the hardships together. I will lead from the front and not from the back, pushing you. That's the heart. Lead with strength, tenderness, conviction, and kindness. I have a reputation of edification. I'm going to write it down too. And then post it up. That's the thing. Post it up on your fridge, on your mirror, and talk to yourself about who you're becoming. It's very important. Lead with strength, tenderness, conviction, and kindness. Grow, learn, and move forward together in unity. In unity for my yoke is easy. I'm going to look up one thing before I close out. I meet up with my good friend, Richard. Is that still on, brother? Hope so. All right. So I'm going to look up one thing real quick. I love doing deep dives, and I want to look up easy. I want to look up the definition of easy. Deep dive on easy. All right. It's important that we know things and understand things. What am I saying when I say easy? And the word is pronounced Christos. Interesting. Sound familiar? Christos. Pronounced Christos. This word does not mean effortless, lazy, no responsibility. I'm going to say that again. That's funny. This word easy does not mean effortless, lazy, or no responsibility. It means something far deeper. Oh, that's awesome. It means to be kind, gentle, benevolent, good hearted. Like Jesus was, leadership is kind and well fitting, suited, used in ancient Greek to describe a yoke shaped perfectly to the ox, something that fits without rubbing or wounding. Wow, that's huge. Doesn't chafe. It's designed for connection, designed for moving as one. Something that works for your good, beneficial. Yeshua produced life, gracious, marked by mercy and goodness. Ancient imagery of the word for is farming and culture. A carpenter would custom shape a yoke so it didn't bruise the neck. Weight was distributed properly, movement felt natural. Jesus, Yeshua, as he was saying, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. It's partnership, alignment, relief from striving, protection, affection, aligned with design. When you walk with the Father, you're not forced into something. You move in grace. It lifts you. You're not carrying the load alone. When we become aligned with purpose and identity, strong identity, our stress gets decreased, resilience increases, effort, feelings feels meaningful. When you give effort and hard work, it feels meaningful rather than draining. Jesus and the Father yoking together and yoking with us. Alignment is what easy is coming into. When you're in sync and moving and flowing and flawlessly, have you ever seen people dance in synchronicity and step together and move together? It just looks flowing and beautiful and powerful. All right, I'm going to end with this. You can represent love and life and goodness and unity and connection and affection. You have to choose. Choose to see yourself this way and speak of yourself this way. My yoke is kind, suited, built to carry life with me. Gentle goodness. So I'm going to describe you and what you can become, what you should write down and see. Lead with strength and tenderness, conviction and kindness. Grow, learn, and forward together in unity. My yoke is easy. Knowing what easy is, though. Gentle goodness, gracious suitability, nourishing kindness, harmonious fit, beneficial strength, crafted with care, so it rests naturally and supports the action, the movement in unity. It's about crafting the yoke. That's what the easy is. How do I craft and make this yoke? It's the design of the yoke that really matters, the design of the connection and love and affection. And that's powerful. The design. And that's really, really powerful when you do a deep dive on it. This is really cool. The design of the yoke. That's what's being described here, the design. Wow. And that's what we're constantly talking about is the design of our life to create epic. Wow, it's being described. That's powerful. Easy, easy yoke. Easy yoke. Wow. A way of walking that feels supported, guidance that cooperates with design, leadership that nurtures growth, strength expressed through kindness, carries warmth, thoughtful care, produces flourishing, presence brings relief in the innermost part of our body, aligns with life itself. Easy reveals the nature of Yeshua in this his leadership. He strengthens from within, steadies the soul, restores capacity, brings rest while moving forward. The experience of one of grace working with us, kindness flowing from God, goodness expressed in character, gracious treatment towards others. When he says his yoke is easy, he is revealing the character, kindness, and generosity, attentive, the quality of kindness that helps you thrive. Here's some theological insight, divine leadership, human design, relational trust, partnership marked by goodwill and kindness. Jesus leads with goodness and fits the soul. It's really powerful. That's who you are. That's who you're becoming if you choose. I bless you today, and I'm grateful that you joined us today. And I hope that this has been meaningful and helpful to you in understanding who you're becoming and moving towards this idea of who you are is really important. And it can come three steps, we believe: the mission, your mission. Why are you here? What do you want to be here for? That's part of it. So many people get lost in, I want to do what God wants me to do. I'm trying to discover that. No, he wants to partner with you. You just heard about the gentleness of the yoke and easy. It's not about pressure of who am I? Who am I? No, God is saying, Father, Papa is saying, calm down. Who do you want to become? What is it that you want your purpose in life to be? What do you want? You can create what you want. With the Father, you can have an epic life. And this is the beginning, knowing your identity and then walking it out, writing it out, feeling it, talking it, speaking it, believing it, receiving it, achieving it, believing it, receiving it, achieving it, believing it, receiving it, achieving it will cause you to go to a whole new level. A part of that is definitely the repetition, talking about it, saying who you are, but then the actions will start to line up with what you're saying. You're thinking about it constantly, constantly. Put it on your refrigerator, put it on your dashboard of your car, put it on your mirror for when you wake up in the morning, when you go to bed at night, you can see who you are becoming. Do you have a reputation? You do. Let's shift that reputation for kindness, goodness, and to pull others alongside with you. Pull that weight together and not push. We have a good Papa. He pulls with us and he loves you and he gets in sync with you. That's where life becomes epic. God bless you. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for joining me. Chantel and I are the Amish Matchmakers. Yeah, we help singles find godly spouses, create epic marriage, and develop a legacy that is rooted, founded in faith, freedom, and above all else, love. I love you.